Little Angels is a brand new collection from our friends at Hunkydory, and Heidi has been having a wonderful time making beautiful things with these. So why don't you come and play with us? Before we get into the projects, let me just tell you these pieces because I'll be referring to them. This is the Luxury Topper collection. Again, it's called Little Angels. There are 106 foiled die cuts, 8 foiled cardstock, 8 printed cardstock, and an idea sheet. That's kind of what you saw right there. Then there are also inserts. As you know, this is ghosted back imagery of the cardstock that's in the Topper collection. This has 36 sheets. There are 3 sheets of each of 12 designs, so that works nicely. There's also cardstock, and this has the 30 sheets and everything matches. Then there is parchment, printed parchment. Now the parchment has 12 pieces, 12 images, and then 4 sheets that are all over patterns, and you'll see those used. There's also a little book of Little Angels, and this is a square little book. It's a little over 4 inches square. I think it's 4 3/4. There are 72 cutouts included in the 150 sheets, so that's quite a thing. Also, there is a concept card. Now, this is Little Angels Acetate Diorama concept card, and this is what these cards look like. They've got an acetate backing or background on the whole thing, and as you can see, this piece is out. And then there's also the die cut, so you can foam tape them kind of as a pyramid style. So all of these, but let's set these aside and get into the fun that Heidi has created. We'll start with her first card and maybe get a little bit closer. Now this is our normal 5 by 6.5 inch card. Steve, can you get in closer? And what she has done is she has started with the cardstock that matches, and as you know, in the sheets of the Topper collection, there's die cut toppers, and this is the sheet she used. Then there's also foiled cardstock that is there, and printed cardstock included also. But for this one, she has taken this cardstock, and the foiling is up here, and Heidi did not use it. You can see that the piece starts down at the bottom and just goes up this high. All the measurements are down below in the gallery, so you don't have to, I'm not going to be giving you any measurements, but just telling you the process. So you can see that this is the piece. Then she matted it on one of the inserts, and some of the inserts are all over. Most of them are just an image that mirrors the cardstock, but this is the one that she chose. So she just matted it just a little bit and put it on the front of the card. Now notice that on the card, the white card does show, so that measurement is important. Now she has taken this piece. Now this happens to have 3 foil die cuts, and she took the bottom, or excuse me, the outside 2 and glued them directly onto the card. But this piece, she used 2 layers of foam tape to raise it so that it gave even more dimension to her card, and that just works perfectly. Now the other thing she did is she used one of the circles. It was this one, You Are So Loved. It could have been on your special day, and foam taped it right there, and that worked very nicely. Then for her accents, she used the teal and aqua ribbon, and you can see the sheer one that she used right there. And then for an accent, she used the Sunset Shimmers and just put a couple of dabs of the Specialist glue down and then placed these and let them dry. That worked very nicely. Now for the, oh, I have to tell you something else. Do you see on the outside of this card, you can see there's some gold shine around it? Well, that is done with our friend, the Thin Line Dazzles. Now, there's 63 pieces on each sheet, and there's a black, white, gold, and silver in this package. You can see that she used the gold. Now, they are thin lines, so you might think, you know, how much is that going to make a difference? Well, it really does make a difference. I thought it was clever how she lined both the cardstock as well as that insert and just went right around, just very easy to do. Now for the inside, she used an insert, and that's what this is, and simply cut it to fit. Actually, you can just put glue on your card. I like glue stick as my favorite, and then position this, press it down, turn it over, and trim it to fit, and it will fit every single time. So she's used that. And then she's also taken one or a couple of the die cuts from the sheet there and there. She also used this little border right underneath them, so you can see that we've got this three-tiered look. This is foam taped, another little bow, and some more of the thin line dazzles. It just works very nicely. So you see that we've got some continuity of the arches as well as the thin line, the ribbons, and the layering of things going from the front to the inside. Just works perfectly. Now, she has done a slim line card, but it's really different from what I've seen before. In fact, this is a belly band, and I'm going to slip this off and just show this to you individually. So this is one of the sheets, as you would imagine, and she has chosen this little grouping, the three little angels, and has put them onto some of the adorable scoreable, and simply had the adorable scoreable on the white side, facing the white side of the die cuts, and kept them all together. Now, she did a strip of the adorable scoreable that's 1 inch wide and the full little over 8 inches long, and made it so that it would slip onto her card. Now, you can't do that until your card's all done, but that's going to be the process to make this belly band. And a beautiful bow right there out of course, our light pink ribbon, just as you would think. She also added one more of the foil die cuts right down here. It says "Just for You." So this is just a lovely piece all by itself, but she also did her card. Now let me show you. Now her card begins with our slimline cards, and you know that those are going to measure 3.5 inches by 8.5, but she laid it out flat and then scored and then folded the sides so that they met in the middle. And you do want to score them because that's a long piece of paper to try to just fold it in. And let me show you what she used to cover it. Here is the adorable scoreable that's foiled. And you can see that foiling. I hope you can see it. There you go. You can see it at the top and the side. Now, she is not using this, so you know that can be used somewhere else. Instead, she used this piece, and you can see, to make it easy to cover this, she took one span of that garland, and it's going to perfectly fit her card, so it'll fit on any slimline. Then, so she cut that and then cut it in half and then matted it onto the pink cardstock. There's the sheet. And she uses this a couple of times actually in the projects. And then glued each one to one side of this gatefold card. We're calling, Heidi refers to those each as a gate, and I think that's an apt description. So they're just matted. You just see about 1/16 of an inch of the pink, just enough to carry the color. Then she has taken 2 of the die cuts from that sheet, an oval one that says, "I count you as one of my greatest blessings," as well as the dove. And she's placed the dove on the left side of the gate and this one on the right. But notice that they really do overlap. And she's done that to kind of make a closure. And that's interesting. I don't think I've seen that before, but I love the continuation of that artwork. Of course, the foiling is just always fun. Now, for the inside of her card, okay, well, we used the first part of this for our front of our card. Now we can use this one or that section to go on the inside. And again, this is just one piece. She went back into the topper and pulled a couple more. And I think it's really cute how the artwork, this just kind of hangs, visually hangs from that garland, a little bow there. Cherished Friend is right there. And she did use the pink Adorable Scorable to cover the whole inside of the card. And so it's like this, as that slips under there. Then when you've got your card done, you can take this piece and wrap that 1-inch strip of the Adorable Scorable gently around your card, overlap the ends, and then glue them together. And then this is just going to slip right on top of your finished card and just makes a really nice closure. And I thought it was fun, and this works so much better when I'm not on camera, as you might imagine. And it's really fun, I thought, that she covered this up. So when you receive it, no, it won't fit into a slimline envelope, but when you receive it, you see this big piece, and then you kind of reveal, and then reveal the inside kind of several times, which is really very nice. Okay, now let's get into using some of that parchment, which is what Heidi has done next. Now this card has a lot of fun things going on with it. In fact, you can see that really pretty holographic glow. And what Heidi has done is she took, now in the parchment, you get sheets like this that have 3 pieces on them. So you just cut those apart, no problem. In this case, she ended up taking that angel and gluing it to the inside of her card as so. So that just finishes the whole card. So it makes this very pretty image. And because it's placed on white, you can see it's brighter there. When I've got it here on black, because it is parchment, it's very vellum-like. It's somewhat translucent, so it will pick up colors behind it. Now you do get these, enough that you can have 12 images out of that sheet, but you also have some that are like this, that have kind of a background to them, just really, really pretty. Well, what Heidi did is she glued a piece of this onto the front of her card. Now again, it's on white, so that worked well. So she cut that. I said she glued it, didn't I? And I misspoke. She cut it first, and then she matted it onto this wild gold sparkles holographic, and just gave it just a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch of a mat, and glued that to the front of her card. Then she die cut it using, of course, our oval and scallop dies. You can see them all kind of nested there. She used the largest one and ran this through her machine to die cut that. Now this is 6.5 inches, so if you've got a big shot, you'll want to put something, you'll want to have this so that you're not going to have to die cut the whole piece, so you can use your machine. So just wrap that around or tuck it under your plates that are moving through your machine, okay? That way you're going to get all of that sparkle. Now, she has done that on the front, but she wasn't finished. So she wanted to add a couple more things, and she wanted to add some green, well, it's not greenery, but it is ferns and leaves. So she used our bigger leaves and ferns cutting die, and she cut it out of the parchment, which I think was brilliant, as well as on the holographic. Now, when you see this 12 by 12 inch of the gold sparkles, I know you're saying, wow, Paulette, that's just wow, kind of overwhelming. But when you see it in pieces, it becomes a wonderful accent and really lovely. So she die cut the ferns and leaves out of the parchment, as you can see right there, as well as out of the holographic, and just place them going around that oval here and then up in the corner. And then she used the Cobalt Country Blooms from our friends at 49th and Market, and you can see that she's just placed them there. Now the other thing that she used to finish this is to make this blue curve. And she used the blue jewel border dazzles, which I thought was really fun. Now this has a silver edge, but you know, I don't think it clashes at all. I think it just looks sparkly. And because this is circles, you can see it right there in the middle, you just place it down. And that just works nicely. So nice to know you can do curves too. Now going back to the inside of her card where she put that parchment, she also used another die, and it is our 8 labels for your greetings. And that is to make this little banner over on the side here. And she cut that out of the Adorable Scorable, and she added a dazzle, and this is from our We're Together collection. Very, very popular. It just says hugs, sending you lots of hugs, thinking of you, get well, missing you, and love. And these are in black, white, gold, silver, and brown. So there we go. Another of the large ferns and leaves has been die cut out of the parchment, and the holographic. Just a really very special card. So that's nice. Now, speaking of special cards, I have another one for you. And here it is. Let me push my stuff over. And this is a pop-up card. This is it's almost a diorama card. And it is larger. It stands up like so. In fact, I can have it facing me. And looks like that. Now, the sides, or actually the structure, is made with the Adorable Scorable. So let me show you what Heidi did. So she took a piece, actually 2 pieces. Now this is important to remember because you do need the 2 pieces. They're going to measure 7.5 by 11.5, 11.5 by 7.5. Then we're going to score starting at each end. We're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches, 1 inch and 2 inches. Yes, I should have marked it on here. I apologize for that. Then she brought in the Adorable Score board, also from Hunkydory. And this has the bone folder, the stylus, attached to it, so you're not going to lose it. This has inches on one side, and it has centimeters on the other. So I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm going to just slide this in, and I already did actually. I scored it at 1 inch and scored it at a 2nd inch. So this is 8, 7, 6. It doesn't kind of make any difference. I just want to know the 1 inches. Turn it around, do it again, let it push right in there, and do 7 and 6. That's 1 inch and 2 inches. So that just makes it very easy. Pop that back in, and it's good to go. And that's a good tool to have. So again, 11.5 by 7.5, and then you want to do both of them with the blue side facing you. Okay, that's important. Then we're going to fold them in opposite directions. So for the bottom one, I'm going to have the first one in a valley fold, then the next one in a mountain fold. Same thing on the other side, valley, mountain. This is going to be the base, and you're going to decorate that first because the top part is going to sit on top of it. And again, you want to keep both blue sides facing you. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what Heidi has used is our gingham number 2. And you can see on the front of this, she used the smaller side, but on the inside, she used the larger side. On the paper, one side is this size, the other side, the back side, is this size. So that just worked perfectly. So she cut her piece, again, the measurements are down below, and put the large gingham there. And then she went into that little book of, let's see, where is my little book? There it is. This is the square little book of little angels. Got that? This is that honkin' big one. Okay. And she chose this image, and she glued it to the center of her gingham. Then you get, let me see, I believe it's 6, yeah, it's 6 images, 6 pieces of each of the images. If you want to see every single image, go to the product page, you'll see it, and I show you every single sheet. But because you get so many of them, you can do lots of different things. So what Heidi did, she took one and glued it straight down. Then she went back into it and cut out this little angel, cut out this angel, and cut out each of those pots. And then she foam taped them into the center. And let me show you. Okay, I hope you can see the dimension there. You can kind of see a shadow. So there, and there, she just placed them right on top of the image just to give it a little bit of depth. Of course, she used foam tape. Now, going into the top piece, she glued the smaller gingham, exact same paper pack, the gingham number 2. And then she took a couple of other sheets of this same design, and she wanted to make a frame to go on this. So this top piece she cut with our 10 square and scallop cutting dies. So she's going to use that largest straight one to make a hole in it, and you can use one of these to kind of center on there if you wanted to cut that opening, or it's your choice, whatever you wanted to do. I think Heidi just cut the layers out of 2 different sheets. So you can see this back layer, she just cut around the foliage just to make a frame going around. And then she cut another layer. Let me hold this up so you can see, just like there, right there and right here. Now this little angel is right here, but she offset it and glued it again so that you see the 2 angels inside, but you see the other one right there. Now, she added out of the topper collection these 2 pieces. May God bless and keep you safe. You're my little angel. And for the flowers, this also comes from 49th and Market. This is called Ballet Slipper Garden Petals. So you can see they're really nice size, even with the tiny ones there. And she attached those. Her bow is out of the gingham collection. And then she's added some decoration around the edges, both of the tabs as they have been glued together. As a matter of fact, I need to tell you that she elected to use the 1/2 inch wide extra sticky tape because these are going to get handled and you don't want anything pulling apart. So the extra sticky tape just really secures them down, and you can see how that all comes down together. So to make this little decorative edge, and I think that little scallops works beautifully, she used the fancy border dazzles. Now I'm showing you the black one because I think it's easier for you to see. This piece is going to be right here, and this little scallop is right here. So I'm hoping you can see that. If not, you'll see it when you click on the image of the product down below. That will show you. So again, this comes black, white, gold, silver. So you've got a nice collection of products there. So that finishes this one, and just does a really nice job. Some very, very different things, and that's really fun to see. I love it because I love to see the different things the designers create, and Heidi never lets us down. So we've got the Little Angels topper collection, got the inserts, we've got the adorable scoreable, we have the parchment, so lots of things to do with that, as well as the Little Angel, the little square book, and then also this one, the Diorama concept card. By the way, on that product page, I walk you through how to make this card. So lots of ideas, lots of angels fluttering around. Thank you so much, Heidi. Great job. And thank you for joining us. Now, there will be a money saver on the right side of your screen. If you're watching us on YouTube, come on over, take advantage of that money saver, and you can download the instructions if you like. We love having you, and thank you for being the best part of Paper Wishes.